local community Winnipeg showcase for Ludum Dare 49. I always think this is always a great opportunity to showcase the work that we've done over the course of the weekend. It can be hard in this kind of remote environment that we live in to kind of spend all this time and energy working towards something, and it can be it would be a shame to put all that work in to not acknowledge that as a community. So there's a few people that will be sharing their project and their progress on stream, and then there's some people that unfortunately weren't able to participate, but either way, it's important that we recognize all the work that's went in over the course of the weekend. So before we get into that, a few kind of housekeeping things that I want to kind of touch on. Let me go to my next slide here. So, event partners. Of course, this event is being coordinated by myself. My name is Daniel Voth. I'm the lead coordinator of the Winnipeg Game Jam, which is also known locally as Peg Jam. And then our Discord server, which this event was being run out of, is the Winnipeg Game Collective. And I'll post a link in chat later on. So if you're from Winnipeg and you're into game development and you're just kind of tuned in now and you haven't had a chance to join, I'll make sure to do that. And yeah, so for context, the Winnipeg Game Collective, of course, organizes game jams, but there's all sorts of other community events that happen. So if you enjoy Ludum Dare and you enjoy game jams or just game development, I would encourage you to follow Winnipeg Peg Jam on Twitter, join our Discord, and yeah, just continue to get involved. It's really important to us that we provide a community where everyone feels welcome. So, and then next here, of course, our co-partners for this event include IGDA Winnipeg. So I wanted to thank, for context, I'm also the co-chair of IGDA Winnipeg. IGDA Winnipeg does a number of events here on Twitch. So we're using the IGDA Winnipeg Twitch channel to broadcast this event. And yeah, so if you want to give us a follow here on Twitch, you can. That's the best way to kind of stay in the loop with regards to the events that we're doing. We have a number of events that are kind of upcoming. So again, the best way to kind of stay in the loop is follow us on social media. So you can see at the top right corner there on the screen share, we are on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Yeah, so I wanted to thank IGDA for providing this platform and helping additionally behind the scenes there. Additionally, oh, did I skip? And then of course, New Midi Manitoba. New Midi Manitoba has been a huge supporter of our community, both in terms of me as an individual, and then of course the organization. So New Midi Manitoba has supported as long as I have been involved, and even earlier, New Midi Manitoba has been supportive of our community and game development industry in Winnipeg. So I wanted to thank New Midi Manitoba, in particular John and Mark from New Midi Manitoba have been really great and collaborating with to help put on this event. So I wanted to thank them. And of course, we're using their space on Friday to host the speakers. So big thanks to New Midi Manitoba. And so what we'll do now is we'll kind of, I'll come back to these slides. So what we'll do is we'll go to a transition screen and we'll bring on our first showcase. And so for context, we'll have a number of people that participate in their event show their projects. And then I'll share a few other words at the end to kind of close out this stream. And yeah, so just bear with us a couple of moments. There might be some technical difficulties we might need to go through in order to kind of facilitate this, but we appreciate your patience and we'll be back momentarily.
Okay. So hi, I'm Christopher. We did our game called Failing for You. We were going to call it Falling for You, but we thought Failing for You would be funnier. So it's basically about a captain on the ship, and his ship computer falls in love with him, and yeah, so she gets kind of jealous and angry after a while. But I'll just play the game so you can see what it's like. Start on the flight deck here, and everything's on fire, and you don't know why. So this is the ship computer. We didn't implement the talking yet, but she's going to have dialogue back and forth with you. And you find the rest of your crew that's dead for some reason. You have to figure out why. This is using the new Unity 2D lights and tile maps. Lauren was on my team who did most of the artwork, and Cody did additional artwork and the level design, and then Chris Love did the music and sound effects, and I did the coding in Unity. Alright, you have to get the key first. And now we can go to the next level. And so now it's when the ship's angry and she's spinning the ship, so you have to sort of like gravity here. That's pretty much it.
I have a quick question. Let me just turn on before we kind of let me turn on this voice chat overlay so people can see. There we go. Oh, is it? There we go. Perfect. So was this who did you work with on this game again?
So is Lauren, who I've worked with, and I think this is our 5th jam together.
Okay.
Cody and Chris Love.
Great. And was this your first jam, or are you all a bunch of veterans?
Well, I think me and Lauren have done 5 or 6 together.
Okay.
And so this is our 2nd jam all together as a team, although one of our team members left this year to form his own team.
Right, gotcha. So I guess for context, if anyone has questions, feel free to ask in the chat, both for this project and throughout the stream. But yeah, unless anyone else had any questions or there's anything else that you wanted to add, I wanted to thank you for joining us on stream, and we can transition here to our next participant. Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Actually, okay, so we'll actually jump right back because I did see we had a question. So Mark Vader asked in the chat, how did you find using Unity's 2D systems?
I found it a lot easier than using third-party stuff. Everything was just built in. The only trouble we had was going back and forth between multiple people because we didn't use Git or anything. So we were just sending the project back and forth, which had problems, but eventually we got it going. So, but yeah, the tools are pretty slick and the lights are really cool.
Awesome, great. So we'll thank you. Oh, let's see. We have another question. Nightshade in chat is asking, will the game be submitted to the Jam, and will we be able to find it on itch? I love this question, by the way. Thank you.
Yes and yes.
Great.
Yeah, it's already submitted to the Winnipeg part of the Ludum Dare. So
Gotcha.
we haven't done the actual official Ludum Dare site, but we'll do that before it's over.
As a side note, I'll expect Nightshade to ask that question for each participant. So, yeah, great. Thanks for joining us, Chris, and we'll kind of move on to our next participant.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Hay. I'm excited to tell you about our project that we've done. I just had to mute the Twitch stream. So, yeah, we are a team of 3, and I did the coding. I got an artist that's not local. He's from the Eastern US, named Migmoog, and the music and sounds are by another Winnipeg local, Nat, or Nathaniel Wisiaki.
I'll just jump in, Chris, real quick, and add
Sure.
that if you're looking to include audio, you'll need to do a window share, not a screen share.
Oh. I'm not sure how to do that.
Yeah, so I can get it. So at the bottom, there's when you click on screen, there's 2 options.
Okay.
You can change window. So you'll select the window where the audio is coming from. So I'm assuming it's from your game. So in the top right corner there, is that your?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so can I just change it as I go?
Yeah, you should be able to. Let's try it. Give it a try and see if it works.
Okay.
Should it be playing audio right now?
You know, it's actually, I'm just gonna do the audio differently,
Okay, cool.
but I would do this normally.
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna switch back to the screen just for now. Yeah, so that's our team of 3, and Nat did the music. So we started off with a Milanote just to brainstorm, and that's our mess and Mig's doodles. And then we made to-do lists on here so we could check things off as we went. And we made a Google Doc to just share like the storyline as an outline. So that was really useful, especially for me, because we did a text adventure. So here's how it looks. So there's a bit of an intro, and we're still working on this, but there, that's a better view. So you're in a location, and like a typical text adventure, you can examine things. So X notebook. You always jot down important notes while investigating. Check notes or read notes to check your notes. So you can read your notes, and there's a giant notebook. And right now it just says read briefing. So we got this briefing. So read briefing. It's a short briefing. Basically, a guy with a gun is holding hostages at the Royal Lion Bank downtown. The bank's phone number is provided. Now your notebook has been updated and you can call the bank. So if you check your notes, this is kind of, it just tells you what to do next, basically, if you're stuck, kind of like a hint system. So we got the bank number, now we can call the bank. So you can call bank. And so a lot of this game is having conversations over the phone. So right now you're talking with the hostage taker at the bank. So yeah, then you can choose what kind of response you want to do. Andy, why do you want all that money? What is it for? My Nunya. What exactly is a Nunya? Nunya da business. Click. So then he hangs up on you. So you have to kind of choose the right things to progress with this. And yeah, I just wanted to show a bit about the art. So Meg actually made a custom font. And it has the letters or the alphabet, but also these tiles. And that's how the font was made for the game. So it's just all these little tiles put together to make an artwork, and that's called text mode. It's kind of fitting for a text adventure. And yeah, he said that it's the first font that he made, and he thought it'd be a fun challenge to try it out for a game to make art for it. And for Nat, now I know you weren't able to hear the music, so I'm just gonna play it over my phone. The reason that the music isn't working is actually a bug in the game that I'm still working out, so that's why I'm doing it this way. So hopefully that's coming through somewhat. This is his first time exploring chiptune.
If
And
you'd
he-
like, you can. Sorry to jump in here. If you'd like, you can send me the clip and I can have it play, like directly through my computer. If you want to send me the link, or
Is it coming through right now?
I'm not hearing. No.
Oh, okay. So I'll send it to Dan.
Yeah.
Just give me a minute.
That way we can have their art at, or their audio at, and it's in a more ideal form.
Oh no, it's too big to send that way.
Or alternatively, you could you could share the screen or share the window with the audio file.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Yeah, that works.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah. So this for people that are tuned in, this stream will have a little bit more kind of trial and error with getting some of this stuff set up. So we appreciate your patience in giving us that. If
So
you
it should be coming through now. Does that...
yeah, if you can turn it up as high as it'll go.
Did that help?
I don't believe so. No. So I can hear, but it's just very quiet.
Okay. Let me try one more.
Yeah, no worries.
How's
That's-
this?
That's a bit louder. Yeah. Still
Okay.
quiet though. Can people actually? The better question is if people in chat can let us know if they can hear it all right, and then I'll shut up so they can listen.
Is it coming through?
Yeah, people in chat
Okay.
says they can hear it. It's just super quiet.
Okay. Well, yeah, if you can't hear it, then you'll just have to check out the game later. But it was his first time exploring some chiptunes, so it's kind of a mix of orchestral and some chiptunes, so square, triangle, and noise. And yeah, I guess just to finish things off, yes, we are planning on putting the game on itch and the official Ludum Dare. We just haven't made it public yet because we're still working on things, but it should be up there probably tomorrow sometime. Yeah, I think that's about all I had to say.
So we actually did have a question in chat previously. Let me scroll up and find that here. I'm just looking for the question that was asked earlier. what engine or program was this game made in? I'm not sure if you had touched on that earlier.
Yeah, I didn't. Let me just show it quickly. If I can. Oh, it won't let me switch. Anyway, I was going to show you, but it's not working.
Okay.
So it's called Adventure On, and it was a text adventure engine that you use in your browser, and it was made for kids to do in schools, so it's meant to be really easy. So I learned it myself over the past year or so and made some games with it. So then I thought it'd be fun to act as the programmer for a game because in the past I had just done music. So yeah, this is my third game jam. I'm not sure about the other people in my team, but I think they've done before.
Great. Unless you had anything else that you wanted to share about your project or your team, I wanted to thank you for joining us on stream, sharing your work, and yeah, thank you for sharing.
Oh yeah, I should say the title is the Marcus Polo Hostage Situation. So it's kind of a long name, but that's what our game is called, so you can watch out for it later. Thanks.
Cool, awesome. Thank you for joining us on stream here.
Cool. Hello everyone. My name is John Manning. I made a game this weekend with Liam Barry and Matt. Matt, I do forget your last name currently. But it was and it was my fifth game jam. I do believe Liam has done a number as well, 7 or 8, and it was Matt's first time. Matt did art for us, and Liam did music, and I was the developer. It was my first time properly using Unity. I've done one other game in Unity, but I mostly did like project management and a couple of like menu, like swapping between scenes stuff, pretty straightforward stuff. And so it was a lot of learning for us. But I just like 7 minutes before this, we managed to pull something together that's actually playable. So the game itself is called, working name, Bad Baby Band. The concept that you are a conductor, but all your band members are babies. And you have to keep them happy by throwing them the objects that they want, or else they will start to miss notes and fall apart. So you can grab items and toss them, and eventually they'll start requesting items to grab. So he wants a soother, so I'm gonna try to a soother on him. And slowly, as you miss requests, because they come way too fast for any human to actually do, and also the toss physics are janky and don't actually, or I guess you'd call it a bug, to increase in sort of dissatisfaction with you as a conductor, they start missing cues. You hear the music falling apart in the background. Yeah, just like that. Right there, I landed to get the blocks on him who wanted to block, so the rest request disappeared right away. And that's our game. It was a blast to make, and there was lots of learning that happened. I spent most of the first day mouse movements to track the hand, but I found that as soon as you kind of got everything set up, the ramp up from like having nothing done to having almost everything done took way less time than I was expecting, which was really nice, and that was something that Unity did really, really well. I'm not familiar with it in the slightest, so this was a very difficult weekend, but I had a lot of fun. Matt was his first time doing Game Jam. He made some fantastic art for us, and it was great working with him. And I hope to work with him again in the future. And Liam did all the traps and everything. It was also our first time using. We were using Unity. We were also using something called Fmod in Unity, which allowed us to separate all the tracks out and add cues and events to them. And that was also very difficult to learn. And so there was a lot of reading documentation on Saturday and trying to figure out why things weren't working. But it was a lot of fun. And I will upload a, I guess, slightly incomplete version of the game to itch and to the jam page. Yeah, I guess if there are any questions.
It looks like you answered one of the questions, which was, of course, the itch and submitting to itch in the global Ludum Dare.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose I had a question while people maybe are potentially thinking of questions in the chat. You had mentioned this. How many jams have you done before?
So this is my 5th jam.
Okay.
2 of the jams I hosted for the University of Manitoba Computer Science program.
Okay.
So I was partially sort of organizing, running them, and then also helping out a team on the side. And then I've done 2, I think, Ludum Dares before, and one of the Pig Jam events with you guys. So. Okay,
so I had a question specific to your experience during this jam. You mentioned you were working with some people that had done a jam for the first time. What advice would you have for people that are going into their first jam or working with people that are going into their first jam?
I think I guess the advice is just do it. Just do it. It's the weekend of sitting down, spending 20-ish hours of solid work over the course of the weekend, just doing something that you really enjoy or hopefully will enjoy it by the time you're done, is really, really rewarding, and it's 100% worth the effort to do it. I think that if you can find a team to work with you, it helps a ton, and I would recommend, personally, I think it's better to work with things you're comfortable with than trying to teach yourself something entirely new on a weekend, because you're going to spend more time learning than doing, and that's never the most fun. But if you're a part of a team that does have someone who knows what they're doing, that's a great opportunity to learn, because a lot of these games development engines are actually fairly straightforward once you sort of have an environment set up.
And it looks like we have one last question in chat from Rory KX. How did the babies get so good at music?
That's a really good question. I assume that it's just a bunch of really, really smart babies. Just really smart babies.
Great. So thank you for sharing your experience and sharing your project. And we look forward to seeing your game on itch. And thank you for joining us.
Cool. Thank you for hosting.
Yeah. Here.
Okay. So this is a game where you have 5 unstable elements off to your top left. And the goal is, by the end of the game, to, I guess, fill up the teapot with either enough stuff or it's just work in progress. Just gotta fill that teapot up with stuff. The way you play the game is you click and drag, so you would grab the objects and you put them into the what is it called?
It's an alembic, the glass thing on the bottom left.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So by putting it into there, it sort of stores it, remembers it, and you start mixing things up together. Right now, the only way you can mix stuff up is if you have 4 of a kind, so it has to be 4 different things. And what pops out is, for now, just like one of those creepy red eyes, but it will be some sort of either solid, crystal, or liquid that you will have a limited amount of time to put into the jars that you have. And so you would keep using those things and mixing them up together until you get more and more complicated stuff.
Yeah, if you want to guide me through certain features to make sure I'm kind of displaying your game as you kind of.
So super simple. You can click and drag stuff out of the jars.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to put them into the alembic because right now there's a tiny bug where they're not going back into the jars if you let go.
Right.
But once the jars are empty, you can put new stuff into them and slowly fill them up. The max limit is 10, but yeah, if they collide, it's a little bit of a bug. Or rather, not a bug, but it's more annoying because you have to manage carefully taking stuff out and putting them in. And so far, that is just the base of the game. We've only really gotten up to this point where we have most of the art and we have some sound effects ready, but right now, like over the next day, it's just going to be mostly focusing on getting the actual game mechanics to work.
But yeah, it's sort of like all the groundwork is there. There's just a couple features that need to be like properly ironed out. But yeah, I think we're pretty happy with what we have so far.
Okay, I see. I'm creating a bunch of these little.
Yeah, you're creating a whole lot of them.
If you want, you can multi-click on stuff right now. So like you can just keep clicking on a certain one and it'll just keep spawning more and more and more and more. And then you can drag a whole stack of them.
And then what do I do with these things? Or that's the
So far that's it.
Okay.
So ideally, in the future, different combinations of the elements will create different, like what you remove from those jars are like a blue kind of glob, and we plan to have that be like a randomized color based on the combination. So, yeah, really, it's like the idea is just to mix and match these things and come up with new elements, and then mix those elements for even newer elements, and then they would have some sort of property that makes them more and more unstable, and maybe the win condition is there's a time limit, and how unstable an element can you get in a minute, or something like that.
Trying to create as many of these.
Cursor.
I'm
I'm trying to make as many of these as I can.
The way I find it to make a bunch of them easily is to grab like a bunch of green, reds, and like it doesn't matter which ones, but just grabbing a whole ton of them all together, moving them as a stack, and then just plucking them all in together at the same time.
How do you make a stack?
So if you click on any of them, like if you just repeatedly click without dragging, like you can just leave them kind of.
So
Yeah,
right now
and
I
they
have a
slowly
stack?
go. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, understood. Gotcha.
And you can grab stacks of different things too at the same time.
Cool.
So the numbers on the container, I just see the question. They're like sort of counting the stuff. They'll be more color coded later on, but for now, they're just numbers that represent the different stuff you have in there.
Great. And you mentioned it was the two of you, and was there another person?
No, just us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
With me working on most of the code and Louis making this amazing art.
Thank you. Yeah, I used Clip Studio Paint and just my tablet and like a pixely anti-alias brush, or no anti-aliasing brush, and yeah, it was a fun experiment. It's funny to see all my art be in a game. We were saying that it's very reminiscent of like old Flash games.
Like from 2004 to 2005.
Yeah, exactly. Some old like Newgrounds kind of thing.
Yeah, it does. It does have a bit of that kind of nostalgia element to it. I didn't immediately sort of clue into that. So, Yeah, the art looks great. And was this your first jam?
This was mine, yeah.
For me, this is my second, just
Cool.
because I did the GMTK jam earlier this summer.
Right.
And yeah, that was fun, but at that time I used processing, so just no engine, just a framework basically, and this time tried out using Game Maker Studio 2.
Awesome. Unless there was anything else you wanted to share or anyone had questions in the chat, I wanted to thank you, each of you, for, of course, participating, sharing your work. I think it's really nice to not only work on games, but also share it with the community. So thank you for joining us.
Totally. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for the fun comment.
Talking to that. Okay. So I have been working on a game for the last couple of weeks, and I submitted it to the Ludum Dare competition. It's based on Snake RX, which was released on Steam last month, and is an open source project. So I forked that and have been making an arcade RTS out of it in the past. And I restart the game. It's a roguelike RTS. So you pick your characters out of the slot machine list. They show up in the tab. And then when you go into the level, you have a troop of units, you can move them around, you can rally them back and forth. And there's enemies. So most of the UI and the sound effects, the animations and stuff like that are all coming from the other game. And I basically have been adding the game content to it. To get a couple more troops, you can start them around individually. Just need a sniper. What's going on? It's like Snake RX and in Dota Underlords. If you buy, I should be able to, if you buy 3 of the same unit, they'll upgrade into another level. And the different colored enemies have different powers. So the orange ones do stomp attacks. There's the mortars that you saw before. And if we keep on going for a minute or so, then we're gonna get first boss. Then it levels up, it gets bigger, does more damage, does more health. And on the roadmap is to want to implement some special features for the characters as well. So when they hit their maximum level, they'll get an extra ability or something. First boss, just where, and cast some of the abilities from the enemies. game so far. I've been going on it for about a month, and I think I still have 1 or 2 left. We're gonna be happy.
Great. If anyone has questions in the chat, as usual, feel free to ask. In the meantime, I had a question. You mentioned at the start you're submitting to the compo
Submitting to the jam,
or to the jam. Gotcha.
and I didn't really read the rules until after I got going. I don't know how in the spirit of the rules it really is.
Right.
Because it does say you can start with any code, but this is a lot of code to be starting.
Right. Well, I did kind of had a question, not directly related to that, but is this this is what's it called? Everything was made from scratch.
It's the original project was written in Lub 2D,
Okay.
which is a pretty basic engine. It has collision handling. It draws graphics, like shapes on the screen. But other than that, everything is custom implemented.
Gotcha.
And I didn't do most of the implementing because the game that I forked this from, the guy who wrote that already did most of the button work and the UI stuff.
Right.
And, made a basic game engine on top of it as well, with units and inheritance and stuff like that.
Gotcha. And I suppose that answers Dragon Liver's question in chat. What's this game made in? Python game engine. So I suppose that answers that question.
Yeah. It's written in Lub 2D, and which is, I think it has a game engine port somewhere, but then all the user code is written in Lub.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you for joining us on stream and sharing your project. And I'm assuming you will be submitted either to both Ludum Dare and or the itch page.
I just put a build up on Ludum Dare,
Okay.
and there's a Winnipeg itch page.
Yeah. If you're in the Discord, so there should be links in there, and I can even send it to you after as well. So, yeah. Thank you for joining us on stream and sharing your project. It's great to see your work. It looks really exciting. Hopefully, or not hopefully, I'll make a point to check this out later when I have time to actually play it rather than just watch. So thank you for joining us.
To have some feedback. It's unfortunately not available online, like a download, like executable right now. Thanks for having me on, and yeah.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. My name is June, and I am representing myself and Matt Welk, who made this game. It is called Pizza Pony, and you play as a horse delivering pizzas. We kind of riffed a little bit on the unstable theme. I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, you could be a horse and be breaking out of places and unstable like that." And so kind of got a bit of an idea from that, but then also just this idea of you have this unstable stack of pizzas on your back, and as you go, they will tilt and they will shift and they're gonna fall off you if you're not careful. So you kind of have to keep them on your back. And it's easy when there's one pizza or when there's 3 pizzas, but once it gets to 8, they really start to lean. They got a real wobble to them. Matt did a lot of really cool, and now they have fallen, and we have to wait for the horse to get back up. Matt did a lot of really cool programming, and this is all in Unreal, by the way. And he did a lot of really cool blueprint stuff to have the pizza tower just like tilting and wiggling, and like the pizza's kind of like as it gets right over there, like the pizza starts spilling out of the box, which is all just very cool and fun. So yeah, he did all the programming. I did all this art that you see, the horse and the animation and the pizza box and the horse girls. It's a little bit hard to see with the big green zones over them, but the horse girls are waving at you as you bring them pizza. And yeah, eventually it gets to, I'll just use a quick cheat to get a little bit further ahead, but eventually you get to like 15 pizzas all stacked up on you, and it really goes. It ends up being very hard to manage them all. You really have to like figure out your turns ahead of time and kind of plan them, because now I really just have to keep going right. Now I really have to keep. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to make and kind of riff with Matt on stuff and see all of this come together. Yeah.
I actually had a couple of questions. So again, if feel free to ask questions in the chat. You mentioned this was, or sorry, if you hadn't mentioned it, was this your first jam or your second jam?
This is Matt's like 117th jam. This is my 6th jam.
Okay.
This is only my second jam as part of a team. The other 4 I did just by myself. So yeah, it was a lot of fun to be working with somebody and be able to just make art.
So the interesting thing there is, what kind of advice would you give for people that are looking to do a jam? So you have experience doing plenty of jams on your own. What is the difference kind of in terms of your experience between jamming by yourself and jamming with another individual?
Yeah. I think the big difference is like when you're doing it by yourself, it's kind of like there's pros and cons. Like you have the whole game in your head, and if you want something to happen, like it's totally in your power to do it, and you have to do it or it won't happen. So there's like, you have so much control, but also so much like there's so much to do. Whereas if you're working with a team, then it becomes this fun collaborative thing where you get to toss ideas at each other and get feedback on stuff, and you don't have to do everything. You get to do the thing that you want to do, or the thing that you will have more fun doing. And then, so in my case, I got to just make a horse and make like, I took Karina's advice from the pre-jam presentation on like get a color palette and like just stick gradients on low poly meshes, and it worked out really well. But yeah, I got to, just make art and then throw it in there, and like all the really cool pizza tower physics stuff just kind of came together without me having to do anything.
It's interesting how that works. It's magic.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really happy with the you want to say this? Sure. Just the horse animation. I was surprised that I was like able to actually that's not him running. Get it to look as good as it did. But yeah, I don't know.
Cool. Looks great.
Yeah. This is probably my favorite part.
It's interesting to see the behind the scenes kind of stuff, and the bones and the skeletons and everything.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
I like directly referenced this like bit of behind the scenes from the movie Spirit. It is the same run animation that I just kind of like looked at and then figured out how to make it happen in 3D.
Cool.
So that was fun. Yeah.
A peek behind the curtain. Yeah. So thank you for sharing. Unless there is anything else that you wanted to share about your project.
I don't think so. No.
Great. Yeah. So thank you for participating. Thank you for sharing your project, joining us on stream. I'm assuming you will also be submitting it to Itch and the Itch
Yep.
page.
It's not up yet. I'm gonna make some music for it tonight, and we'll get maybe a couple more decorations on the map, and then yeah, it'll be on Itch for and to the global Ludum Dare for tomorrow probably.
Great. Looks like everyone in chat is also enjoying your work, along with Matt's work as well, of course. So yeah, I would echo those sentiments and say it looks like you did a good job, and I look forward to checking it out.
Awesome, thanks.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, and yeah, so thanks for joining us on stream, and we'll transition to our last.
Hi, Winnipeg. It's Andrew and Mike. We put together a game, Nitroglycerin. It's based around the theme Unstable meets Pac-Man, and we want to go through and create a game where in Unreal, where you just jump around, you have lots of fun exploring a maze and trying to survive.
You can also jump on walls.
We're going to give you a quick demo and hope you have fun with it.
So this is the game we created. It's kind of like Pac-Man, but in a 3D kind of setting. It's a very fun game. As you can tell, I'm doing what I like to call 360 jumps, where you basically jump around, and in midair you do a 360. Simple enough. That's one of the many things you can do. As you can tell, I am also grabbing elements of multiple varieties, like carbon and such. These are the elements to, well, create nitroglycerin. It's interesting, and if I can find them, there are ghosts in this level. These are the 4 ghosts. They are interesting fellows, to say the least.
They have trouble finding you. They're a little unstable.
Yeah. And if I can get this right, I can run on here. Like so. And you can jump on them. It's really fun, actually, when you get right down to it. You can also get stuck, but luckily we have done the masterful thing of adding stairs to everywhere. And as you can tell, I'm really trying to show off the stairs. It's great. But yeah, you can basically explore everywhere in this thing, and as you can tell, we have the thing for nitroglycerin on the wall. It's honestly kind of just fun to mess around in, I guess, is the thing for it. Yeah, you basically just collect all the elements and have fun seeing what the ghosts do, like run into walls constantly. And as you can tell, I'm going at a very high speed. You will actually have to figure this out for yourselves, how you get this high of a speed. Yeah. It's a really fun game, actually. You can sink a couple hours of it, maybe if you just want to mess around for a bit. Or even a couple minutes if you don't.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
Awesome, great. So I wanted to thank everyone for the participating in the showcase. It's really great to not only work on a project and spend a lot of your time and energy working towards a goal, but it's also nice to be able to share that. So I wanted to thank everyone for that was able to join us on stream, and even those that weren't able to join us on stream. I'm sure we'll get an opportunity to play everyone's projects in the not too distant future, assuming everyone's able to submit to Itch and Ludum Dare. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching. There's a few things that we'll kind of go over before we wrap up. Important links. So if you haven't already, actually I'm not sure if that bit.ly link works. So that Itch link doesn't work. I'm just realizing in this moment. But if you're on our Discord, which is that link, all the other links do work. I do know that. Join us on Discord. This is a community that has been doing things for a number of years. So this community doesn't stop with this event. There's a number of other events that happen in our community. We do a monthly meetup every month online on our Discord. So if you haven't already, or if you're just tuned into this stream and you haven't had a chance to join our Discord server, you can join it at discord.io/LD49 Winnipeg. And of course, this jam is based on Ludum Dare. So I would really encourage everyone to submit your projects to Ludum Dare. There's a really great feedback process that's involved with submitting to Ludum Dare. So I encourage everyone to do that. As well, if you kind of want to stay in the loop with Winnipeg Game Jam, you can follow us on Twitter at Winnipeg Game Jam. And if you kind of want to see some of the work that's been done over the course of the weekend and will continue to be done, because Ludum Dare does officially end on Monday, I believe, you can take a look at the hashtag LD49 WPG on Twitter to see some of the work that's been done over the weekend. And let me just go to the next slide here. So in general, if you're unfamiliar with our Discord, we have an announcements channel where we'll give notifications when we're going live or when an event starts. So if we have a live stream coming up, we'll announce it there. If there's a upcoming event, we'll announce it there. So that's a great way to keep in touch with what's happening within our community. And then there's information about us regarding our ambassadors and our social media and a collection of resources and different resources that will allow you to get even more engaged with the community. And yeah, we'll move on to the next slide here. So our Discord, I wanted to thank the ambassadors on our Discord. In general speaking, they are great representatives of our community. So generally speaking, I wanted to thank them for continuing to participate in that capacity. So Adrian Cheater and Jackie, Graham, Julian, and Dustin. And then specific to this event, it's really important to me that we acknowledge all of the people that make this event possible. I'm very visible due to the nature of being on stream, but by no means would I be capable of doing this by myself. And then of course, Christian, Art of Cham, created the poster and the stream overlay that you see here, which is really great. That's courtesy of Art of Cham, so you can follow him on his social medias. I see a question in chat real quick. Is there a Made in Winnipeg collection on itch we could go to for an easy way to find these games? Yes. So I do have a itch collection that I've made that includes every Winnipeg game that I'm aware of on itch. So I follow people and I add every game they make to a Winnipeg collection. And then as well, I'll make specific collections for each jam. So if you want to go back and see some of the older games that were made, there's an opportunity to do that. And I can post links in the Discord. Yeah, so thank you to Art of Cham for the poster and the stream overlay. Julian for the Peg Jam Radio. So at the start of the stream and when we end the stream, there will be all of the music that was included in the countdown and the stream end was curated by Julian through the Peg Jam Radio community. So thank you to Julian for doing that. Matt has been really great to work with to coordinate the social media. All of the tweets, not just for this event, but just in general, Matt is sort of managing the social media. So all the tweets that you've seen come from Winnipeg Game Jam is courtesy of Matt, and he's been really great to work with even beyond the social media. So I wanted to thank him as well. Steve facilitated some matchmaking at the start of the event. It's really important that that everyone has an opportunity to participate, whether we're able to help you find a team or not. So thank you to Steve for contributing in that capacity. Yeah, so that pretty much wraps it up. I'm going to go back to this one. Additionally, I just want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. I wanted to thank the speakers on Friday, everyone that participated. was great to have your knowledge and be able to share that with our community. Again, thank you to New Media Manitoba, IGDA Winnipeg, and of course the Winnipeg Game Jam. And on a personal note, I just wanted to share that I am extremely grateful to be in the position that I am in order to participate in the capacity that I'm able to. I think Winnipeg has a great community and an amazing industry for game development, which people may not realize. And everyone that came to this event, I also wanted to thank you, because I wouldn't be able to do what I enjoy doing, which is organizing events like this, if it wasn't for people that came and everyone that contributed. So I'm not sure that I could say it any better than that, but I'm really grateful to be in this position and to be a part of a community of like such passionate, talented, collaborative people from all different backgrounds, all different disciplines. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. And if you want to continue to get involved, join our Discord server. This will not be the last event that happens in our community, so please continue to participate, continue to get engaged, and thank you for watching.